Hello, welcome back to another installation of What Would Lou Do. So today we're going to try and be brief here and quick as possible, but give you guys lots of information. So what we're looking at today is the Mac 9 DS Comp. Okay, this is the new model. A lot of you are probably familiar with the old model. But this is the new and improved, the latest and greatest. And so we're going to basically do sort of kind of a quick unboxing and a first impressions, first shots kind of thing. This is by no means a thorough, an in-depth review because we literally just got a hold of this yesterday. But I will say this, I have a ton of information for you guys that you're probably, I know you're not going to find anywhere else. I took this thing apart down to its skimpies. I saw all the details that she didn't want me to see, and I loved it. So definitely got lots to cover, but I'm going to throw a lot of information at you. I'm coming punches and bunches, right? So just hang with me. But remember, you heard it here first. So this is the box it comes in, and this is the baggie it comes in. So it does come with a range bag, which is good. I have some other things here for comparison. You see here, I've got a couple of proteges with me. This is my EDC. This is the 4 1/4. And this one is also a 4 1/4, but this has a compensator added to it. And so one thing I want to see is kind of, is there a drastic difference from a compensator that you add onto a pistol versus one that's integrated into it? So let's just go ahead and open this bad boy, and you guys come along with me and see what she's got. It's nice to see that they actually give you a range bag. I do like that. And here, similar to the Prodigy here, you can see this one also came with a range bag. I do like this one a little bit better because it has a couple of other compartments, but this is very similar. And it's nice that you don't just, have it thrown in a box. So it comes with 2 magazines. You do get 2 17-round magazines. I would have liked to see 2 17ers and maybe like a 20 extended. I don't think they make one, but that is what I like to see. Traditionally, 3 magazines to me is a good fit. You see, you can fit 5 in here. This is basically just a pad to separate, or you could use it as cleaning if you wanted to. You lay all your stuff on. And then, of course, the pistola. So this is the Mac Daddy, or as I'm going to call it, the Black Daddy.
How dare you?
Yes, how dare I. But let's get her out of here and show you guys what she looks like. It is unloaded, by the way. There's nothing in it. These are loaded, but I will not chamber around or anything, so don't freak out on me. This is the latest and greatest from the Mac company, the military arms company, if you weren't familiar with what the Mac stands for. Initial impressions, I do like it out of the box. It looks nice, and of course, you've got the integrated comp there, or chunk style port, which is cool. So the other things that come with it are quite a lot. So you get the manual, which is from the previous model because it's basically the same. And why I say that is you can tell that none of the pictures have been updated. It doesn't have the full dust cover or the suppressor heights or the compensator. So if you're familiar with the old one, this is basically the same manual. You get the crappy lock that's federally regulated. Who cares? By the way, it is optics ready, of course, and they also, like the Prodigy, have gone with the AOS system. And so you do get the plate. You don't have to buy it separately, which is cool. You get a button in here for your mag release. You can customize that as well. These are your little wrenches and things, and some extra screws. Also, there is a tool in here that you will need to take the gun apart, and I will talk about that here in a minute. And here is something cool, is it comes with 3 trigger shoes. So you can actually customize the trigger for your feel. I think that is really thinking on their toes right there, because a lot of people want it to be specific to them. So good on them for thinking about that. So that's everything that comes with it extra-wise, and we'll talk more about that here in a few. So we've got a steel slide, a carbon steel slide and frame, and then a polymer grip, which makes it a 2011. 1911s are the grip is integrated with the frame, so that's the thing that sets it apart. If you hear 2011, 1911, that's really the only difference. They just can't call it that because Staccato has coined the phrase 2011. They're made in Turkey. A lot of people have an issue with that. I don't really, as long as it's a good product. So the finish is a nice matte black tinifer. It's very sleek, you know, very, very soft. I'll talk more about the finish when we get to the fit and finish part. But yeah, so that's basically what we're looking at, and now we will go and break down the components. So like I told you guys, I took this apart last night, tinkering, really getting involved to see what all this baby was made of, because you know there's a lot of talk about metal injection molding versus forged steel parts. I don't think there's a single metal injection molded part in here, with the exception of the hammer. There's one line that looks like it could be a seam, but it could just be where it wasn't blended very well. But I'm pretty sure that everything in here is hand forged, which is a lot of work, a lot more work than metal injection molded. Like on the Prodigy here, they went with tons of metal injection molded parts. Now, I've got like 3,400 rounds through this. I've not had any issues. So as long as it's done well, it's not that big of a deal, but I do appreciate the attention to detail. Like I said, it is 17 round capacity. These are loaded, but I'm not going to chamber around or anything. So that's what it looks like with the magazine in there, while the mag well is on, that is. You can take that off. I forgot to mention, but one of the things that's included is a smaller pin. So if you wanted to carry this, you can take that off and put a smaller pin in there and, you know, put it in the old kangaroo pouch there. By the way, I was looking around last night, and what do you know? It takes Protege magazines, even with the mag well on there. They work perfectly fine. There's no issue with it. Even the 20 round magazines will go in there. However, with these, I found that the mag release will not release them. So in order for you to train with these, you've got to push up and then let it go. So it's in there, it's seated, but then when it comes time to release it, you're gonna have to do like that. So the grip itself is, it leaves a little bit to be desired, honestly. It's not my favorite design at all. Speaking of grips, the one I really enjoy is the texture on the Prodigy here. They're very similar in their design, but this one has far better grip texture than the Mac does. There are some differences. If you look there, they're both checkered on the back. Actually, this one isn't checkered. I forgot about that, but this one is checkered, which is supposed to grip your hand better. But one of the things that's different about it, if you look in the front there, on this one, it's got that wide checkered pattern. I think they should have probably done that on the back here as well, and that would have made this probably grip a little better. I took a couple shots with it the other day, which some of you might have seen. I didn't have any issue with it moving around in my hand or anything. It's just I anticipate that if you were out here in the summer and it's sweating and everything, this part right here, right, with the little S's, the little S patterns, that's where it just doesn't grip very well. They do have some stippled grips in the works, and we're really going to be pushing to get one of those, so stay tuned. We will tell you about that. Here's one of the tidbits that I can tell you now. You can basically swap this grip with a Prodigy grip. I test fit it last night and everything. There are a couple things that you would have to do differently. You would have to get these screws instead of these, and the mag release, right? It does not fit in here. But otherwise, it looks like you could take this grip and throw it right on here. And that's not the only similarity. You're going to see that here in a few. It does have a mag well. This is an aluminum mag well. I wasn't really sure about that one because the finish on it looks like it could blend in so well with that. So I had to take it off and inspect it closely, and I felt the weight, and it is an aluminum mag well, and that's going to help you guide that magazine like right back in there. You see what I mean? The mag release here is extended. It has a button on it, right? So that's cool. I do like that. If you look here at the Prodigy, you can see right here, this is more the traditional style. It's literally just a round nub, and there's no, it's kind of recessed if you look right there, right? It doesn't stick out. Look at this one, it sticks out. There is a extra button right there that you can extend it even more. I probably will try it. This one's pretty good as it is. One thing I really like about it is the customization, right? You can change out the trigger shoe to fit you. You can change out the button on here to fit you. That kind of stuff really goes a long way with me. You know, a lot of manufacturers, they've got a habit of just throwing something in a box, putting a couple magazines in there, and it's like, here, you deal with it. I really like that they're trying to cater to the needs and the desires of the customers. The safety is very, very easy to put on and off. It's very audible. One thing I found interesting was if you look right here, this side is slimmer, this side is thicker. I think this may be catered to left-hand shooters. I'm not sure. I would think you would put the thicker side on the left side, because most people, when they shoot these, they like to rest their trigger or their finger on that safety. I don't do it that way. To me, it feels like I'm having to try and wrap my thumb, and with the way I grip, I like to have this a little more relaxed so I can just move that finger faster. The grip safety here, it's pretty firm. It definitely bounces back. It's not kind of floppy. I did notice with the Protege here, this one's a little floppy. Now this has got tons and tons of rounds through it, so that could be playing a factor, but this one is definitely firm. The slide release, I really like the slide release. Traditionally, you get something, actually no, not that one, this one. This one has the stock slide release. Right there, you see the slide release. I can't even hit that with my thumb, not even close. It's just a little nub, and that, you see how far in that's recessed. So what a lot of people will have to do with these is when they go to reload, they'll actually have to hit it with a support hand. I don't want to add in another movement to my training, right? So having this extended like that, in my opinion, is fantastic. See, pow. And it works so well. You don't even really got to break your grip very much. You can just tap it right there. Now, I know a lot of the people, the guys with the really high grips are going to cry because they're like, oh, I don't get lock back because of the extended mag release. Well, you know, you can't help it that you're wrong. I'm just kidding. Only left-handed shooters are wrong. So here's the trigger shoe. If you look at it, it is a flat trigger shoe, which I wasn't really a fan of looking at them, but for some reason, this one just works. This is the one that come out of the box. I haven't changed anything on here. There's just a little bit of travel, and then break. The reset is a little far. It's forced. It is kind of like forced, which I know YouTube hates that word, forced reset. But yeah, if you just let up a little bit, it really pushes your finger forward. So the distance is fantastic, and the pull is so light. I'm going to show you guys so that you know that I'm not, you know, doing any kind of tomfoolery here. But this comes up consistently right below 3-pound trigger, which is crazy light to be right out of the box. All right, here we go. Okay, that was 2.6. That's probably a little lighter than what it actually is. I'll take the average. I'll just do like 3, and then we'll see. 3.3, enter value, and try one more. 2.9, an average of 2.11. It does have a full rail now, a full dust cover if you want to call it that. The other one had multiple pick rails, or pick slots rather, but the cover came way back. I really didn't like the looks of that. This looks much better. The Prodigy, you can see here, it does have a little bit of a cut there. There you is for comparison. So one of the other little tidbits I want to tell you about is that if you have a Prodigy and have some holsters for it, then as long as you've got the same light, it works. Now that's not the one I carry. The one I carry is actually this one. What you see there? Right? Perfect. The company we use for holsters is MIE Productions. Well, not affiliated, don't get any kickbacks or anything, but really like their stuff. So if you guys want some good holsters, go check them out. So as I said earlier, the guide rod does require a little tool in order for you to take it out. If you can see, there's a really tiny little hole right there. That, you take this little tool, it's basically kind of like an Allen key, right, the little L, and you stick it in there to plug that hole, and then when you go to let it off, it keeps the spring compressed so you can break it down. I'm not gonna break the gun down because of YouTube. They've really been on us really hard lately, so I'm trying to avoid any sort of delays in putting this video out for you guys. The computator, I will show you guys here in a few. You can kind of judge on camera yourself to see if is it really effective at all. I have my thoughts on it, which I'll share afterwards. But yeah, so that's one of the upgrades from the old Mac 9. I also have these cool window cuts here. They don't really add any sort of performance to the gun, but it does take some weight out of the slide, and you could potentially probably put some side ports on there if you wanted to. Finish wise, like the actual application of finish, I have mixed feelings on it. You'll see on the bottom, it's a nice black, thick finish, but then on top it looks a lot thinner. And if you look right here under the window cuts, there's almost like stains. I can't get those off. You can't see them, but under the right light, you can see there's like almost like cutting oil or something stained the finish here. I don't know why the top is lighter or thinner than the bottom. I guess for, you know, reciprocation purposes, because a lot of people gave the Prodigy a lot of grief because of thick Cerakote and blah, blah, blah. To me, I love the finish on there. The more robust, the better. But I am noticing that it's a very delicate finish. If you look right here, right, there's a little scuff right there. That was not on the pistol. This was literally from me wiping it. There was something on the rag, I guess, and it kind of made that. There's a couple back here in the same place, like boop, boop, boop. Some areas down here, you can see where on that hard edge right there, that's not dust or anything, that's actual steel showing through. As far as the fitment, I would say there's no more movement than what there was on the Prodigy. Yeah, no, it's about the same movement. There is a little bit of wobble. It's not up and down, but it's the side to side. If you really bump it back and forth, it's, you know, there's a tad movement. The last thing I'm going to say is that I do feel it getting hung up on the disconnector back here. It's not to the point like the Black Prodigy here. When we got it, you could literally pull it back and it would stick. It would literally stay like this, and I could go and throw it forward. This isn't quite that bad, but you can definitely feel there's a hang up there. Okay, so we're all set up here. We've got all the 3 pistolers loaded up. Since most of you guys are here for this only, we're going to start with this one. We're going to put a magazine through it, let you guys see how it fires, and then I'll do the tests in order. And I'm also going to try out some of the different Prodigy magazines. We're going to try out the 17 rounder and then the 20 rounder, like I said. So we're starting out with the Mac 9 17 rounder, and let's see how she fares. Going to iron sights. I'm just going to test it how you guys would get it out of the box. Pretty good. I'm going to do some rapid fire. Shoots pretty nicely. So now let me go ahead and, you know what? Actually, let me go ahead and see if it can use the other magazine. So here's the Prodigy magazine. Fits flush. It's not loose or causing any problems. Feeds perfectly fine. So let's just throw a couple in there. Works well. Okay. We'll put that one back in here for our testing purposes. Oh, the 20 round. I was going to do the 20 round. So this is the one, remember, I told you that you got to knock it up and it locks, but when it comes time to release it, you've got to push up on it. Let's see if this one will actually fire. It fits it, but will it fire? So it feeds. Let's see what we get. Works well. Now what I want to do is to try and compare these each together to kind of see how effective that compensator is. Okay? Alrighty. Now the Black Daddy. Okay. And now the Prodigy with the Underworld Arms Cerberus compensator. Whoops. So I've been having some issues with this one, with this ammo. It does not really like Monarch ammo, which is failure to extract, which is points for the Mac 9 because it seems to love it. Okay. Oh. By the way, why I say that's ammo related, because we tried Blazer Brass through it. No malfunctions at all. So it's definitely, it just doesn't like that ammo for some reason. Don't know why, but whatever. So I can say that the way it feels to me, this feels, it feels softer. I don't know if it's necessarily flatter, but you know, you guys will have to tell me what you think about it. We're going to get a couple more rounds and try to do it in slow motion. That way you can kind of see comparatively and, you know, make up your mind whether this is something that you want to jump into, or are you good with your old Mac 9, you know? So let's get loaded back up and we'll go again. So what's the consensus on the Mag 9 here? Well, obviously we haven't had enough time to do a really thorough review. I've not like carried it, I've not put a light and an optic and all that on there. Those things will change the weight of the gun, and it could affect the reliability and things. But as far as just out of the box, I'm actually quite pleased with what you get, honestly. It has a lot more features than this one does, that's for sure. Having it out of the box, that's paramount. The more you give the consumer, I think the more they're going to appreciate your product. Because I appreciate that. I appreciate the fact that I can change that trigger if I want to, the trigger shoot. I appreciate the fact that I can customize that mag release to suit me. So things like that give them a lot of brownie points in my book. Great trigger, man. I can't stress that to you guys enough, man, how good that trigger is right out of the box. Now, that's not necessarily a guarantee that yours will be under 3 pounds, but I'd be curious to see how consistent that will be across the board. The fact that it can take Prodigy magazines, right? Which you guys, if you know anything about Prodigy magazines, they're very cheap. You can get these easily for like $30, $35. These, I don't know how much they would sell these for. These have the T-Sauce brand on them. I didn't think to mention that. But these look like similar to Checkmate magazines, which can be kind of expensive. But the fact that you can throw one of these magazines in there and not have any issues with it is great. The fact that you can, if you have a pre-existing Prodigy accessories, they're gonna fit on here. The light from that fit on this with the holster, right, and the light. Now I don't have to buy a holster. I can literally use this. I guess overall, what I'm saying is that you're getting a lot of bang for your buck, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I wasn't expecting as good of results as what I've got. We've put through it now, maybe close to 100 rounds. And everything perfectly smooth. You did see the Prodigy here, the black one anyway, choked a few times. Now that is ammo related, but you see this had no problems with that ammo. So these are all things that you have to consider. As far as the value and everything you get, I dig it. I don't regret this purchase. And I don't think really that you guys would either. Now we need to see more people review it to see if this is just a fluke, a one-off, or has the military arms company found out how to reliably, affordably make a lean, mean, efficient shooting machine cheaper than its competitors? If so, then we definitely need to keep our eyes on them and jump on that bandwagon, man, because people are going to be snatching these things up like hotcakes. I think that about wraps the video up. It was a little more in depth than what I planned, just to put some first shots out there, but because I've learned so much about it, I figured that I should pass that knowledge on to you guys, and now the ball's in your court. So you like it, don't like it, doesn't matter to me. I'm not getting paid for this. If you found this video helpful, we ask that you strike that like, swirl that bell, subscribe and vibe with us and make us feel all appreciated, baby. We appreciate you guys for watching. As we always say, seek the Lord while it may be found, and call upon him while he is near, because he is near unto those that be of a broken heart and save such that be of a contrite spirit. You draw near to God and he will draw near to you. He resists the proud, but he gives grace to the humble. So cast yourself down before the Lord and he will lift you up. Till next time, take care and God bless.